But let's still try and digest what's really happening and what are the repercussions or implications of the budget. The fact that land records are now going to be digitized with GIS mapping. So let's try and understand what could it really mean for businesses such as MapmyIndia. The CEO and ED, Rohan Verma, joins in on the show right now. Rohan, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show. Rohan, now that land records are going to be digitized with GIS mapping, as per the recent budget announcement, how big is the market size for this kind of mapping? And tell me, how does life change for you then?
Thanks for having me, Aisha. It's a really good initiative by the Government of India to go deep into GIS for land records. This is great for social harmony as well as economic benefits, both in rural and in urban, as it will lead to kind of great opportunities for farmers or to have credit access, property rights, and agricultural services. And in the urban areas, it'll help the urban local bodies to manage their property tax, property records, leading to revenue. It's a great opportunity for us as a company. We have strong capabilities in this. We've been servicing the land records area, both in rural as well as urban, through our drone-based digital twin solutions, our property tax software systems, and even our Mappl Spin, which you saw this reference to Alpin, urban land, unique land parcel identification number. And Mappl Spin is a unique digital address and ID for every location. So it does open up a large opportunity for us. We're very excited. This initiative by the government has to be done carefully. It is a complex issue. My advice is or request is that it should be done jointly by the government and the organizations that are capable in this space.
All right. I wanted to also understand then in terms of what exactly this GIS mapping is, if you could just give us a better sense as well as to what the uses are.
Sure. Essentially, with the land records, what is happening, just like you can imagine, road infrastructure is a driver for logistics efficiency, supply chain, transport, etc. Land records is kind of central to in the rural area for people to say that, this is my property. It is marked out geospatially along with the record of rights or the property ownership. So against that, they can, for example, get collateral or against that collateral, digitized collateral, they can get loans. Or, for example, if the land parcel is known, then the correct advisory for farmers for that farm can be given. And similarly, in the urban area, when the land records are digitized and the land use is mapped and what type of property is on top of that urban land parcel, accordingly, property tax can be determined and the commercial use or residential use, etc. And that can be applied, and that's revenue proper planning of cities and towns. And all of this happens through software platforms such as what MapmyIndia offers, which is MGIS, this geospatial analytics platform. It happens through our ground vehicle or foot or even drone-based digital twin surveys to create full 3D maps or high-resolution images, and then digitize them to come up with what information about each place, and finally marked with a unique digital ID, like a Aadhaar for a place, against which all sorts of information about that land record, as well as all sorts of services that have to be provided to that are mapped. So like you have UPI for payments or Aadhaar for people identification, this Alpin or what MapmyIndia's equivalent or linked ID is called Mappl Spin, can provide those capabilities. So immense opportunities to reduce the court disputes on land ownership, but also to provide economic empowerment or financial inclusion to everybody, as well as proper city and town planning, reduction in congestion, improvement in air pollution, and all of those things.
Okay, and there have also been a lot of opinions then when it comes to the overall startup industry. And, they've been talking about reducing the dependence on the global map solutions providers. How is the mapping industry really taking up these announcements? What is the view on it?
Uh, it's a very interesting time. Um, uh, uh, and in the recent past, there have been a lot of talks on this. I've tried to stay quiet. We've tried to stay quiet on it. But I feel it's worth responding to since you're asking the question. See, on one side, you have global map providers, which have monopolized the market and done price gouging or unreliable pricing, sometimes offering it free, sometimes doing price gouging, sometimes reducing it. These are unreliable and kind of sources on which kind of, Indian developers, Indian enterprises, Indian consumers are getting dependent. On the other hand, you have companies local, which don't have a history or track record in mapping, which requires long innovation, which, for example, MapmyIndia has done for 30 years and coming up with products which again are based on foreign open source where the maps are not accurate and making gimmicky things like giving it free. Of course, a pathetic product deserves no price. So I would say that it's a time while people like MapmyIndia have been doing this for 30 years reliably with the best product at the right price for the Indian market. Having seen our success, of course, there are companies which would like to get into this space, and we're happy to have competition. But we also want consumers and app developers and enterprises to be aware that such kind of practices by both global and unrelated or uncapable local players shouldn't kind of create a mess in the industry, because at the end of the day, an accurate map is required to solve problems, mission critical problems. And we shouldn't have a situation where consumers are being navigated into water, or enterprises, who have to deliver e-commerce or like ambulance services are having problems with unreliable maps. And so I think people have to be aware and not given to these kind of gimmicks that we are seeing from these foreign and other local players.
I get that completely. But Rohan, tell me, what benefits do you now see accruing from this move, specifically for MapmyIndia? What kind of business would you actually get, and then what would it really translate into?
Sure. Yeah, it's a very exciting development. It's come out very nicely in the budget. I mean, the government has been doing these initiatives for a while, and it's come out nicely in the budget for the public domain. But it's an opportunity that is part of the MapmyIndia's total addressable market or serviceable addressable market. It's a space that we deeply work with government organizations. And so for us, it's good that there's a continued thrust, because that means that business will continue to grow. And we've put out a strong kind of statement as to our FY27, FY28 milestone to cross 1,000 crores plus, and we are well on track with that. And these kinds of initiatives only kind of strengthen the conviction that there's increasingly infinite use cases for maps, for drones, which MapmyIndia is into, for geospatial software, and for the location-based IoT, all of which will play a role in land records, but also the other initiatives both in the public and private sector around or markets for our type of solutions.
Rohan, good morning. This is Vinny joining in the conversation as well. Now, I just want to know, apart from this as well, recently there are new ventures that came in on the data analytics front from the company. Why was that in a separate promoter company and not in MapmyIndia?
Sure.
Was there any strategy on that front?
Yeah, see, analytics and consulting is a different business model than MapmyIndia's mass, SaaS, PaaS, and IoT business. MapmyIndia is fundamentally a product and platform company, whereas analytics and consulting requires deep engagement with the customer, more along the lines of professional services. And also the analytics and consulting leverages one part of geospatial data, but a lot of it is also financial data of customers or technical data. So geospatial data is only one component of what ClarityX can leverage to service the needs of customers for their business problems. There are other partnerships, other engagements to be done where such companies may not be looking to work with MapmyIndia. So we saw this is the best of the world for MapmyIndia to have a use case or to service the analytics and consulting needs of companies or to get that share of wallet. On our own, we cannot do that. We are not positioned or geared for that. We are very focused as a product and platform company. But with a strategic partnership with ClarityX, that unlocks the value for MapmyIndia, leading to large revenue and profit. And MapmyIndia is generating the revenue and profit from by reselling these solutions or offering these added bouquet of solutions to our customers, while they have ClarityX has a deep focus on AI-driven analytics and consulting, which companies need, and they can focus on their core DNA.
Sure.
And customers get the benefit of focused organization solving. Hence,
Sure.
There was a need to do this independently, but also collaboratively, so that MapmyIndia can derive maximum value from this.
Just one last question from my side is in terms of Google Maps, and they had slashed prices for the developers. So what is the impact for the company on that front? And, will your guidance of 35% in terms of revenue CAGR and margin remain intact after this as well?
Sure. I mean, if you look at Google's history, I want people to know that they first entered the market 6, 7, 8 years ago by offering free APIs to consumers, to developers, I mean. Developers integrated Google. Then what did Google do? Increase the prices, increased it 10x, where in the last few years, you have seen such unprofitable mobility, e-commerce, logistics, or other startups and companies because of this Google Maps tax as one part of it. Now, what are they doing? They are saying we are going to slash the prices. And what will happen next year? God knows. So I would say these are gimmicks. MapmyIndia is always what we have done, offered the best product. If Google is having to slash prices by 70%, it means they don't have confidence in their product, which is proven in the B2B space, that our product is better and reliable. The other point is that we always price based on value we offer to customers. And because we're an OEM, meaning that it's our own product, we offer solutions and customization to customers. We are able to walk with them in what is a win-win situation economically, as well as value-wise for customers and us. So I want to say that most of our customers, if not all, will stay intact because of the value. Also, if you look at the pricing in detail, it doesn't affect large enterprises. It is meant to garner from startups. The discounting is high there, which are anyways not revenue paying. So our guidance doesn't change. We are very excited. In fact, I think this bolsters our position as a premium provider, as well as indigenous provider of maps, offering the best value and being the best provider for the customers. I think this will strengthen our position, while others can keep doing gimmicks to kind of, I don't know, play wars with each other.
Rohan, always good having you on the show. Thanks for taking the time out and chatting with us today.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.